All right, guys, welcome back to the channel, man. So check this out. I got a quick video for y'all today. As y'all see the thumbnail, y'all see the title of this video here. We have official confirmation from none other than Sweet Baby Inc.'s very own. Okay, she was on a podcast. I believe this was yesterday or something like that, where she discussed, basically confirming Sweet Baby Inc. working with these companies, with these especially the Western developers, right? To make Sweet Baby Inc. a part of their games, right? Like we've all been suspecting all these years, right? But I don't believe we ever got official confirmation. But in this interview, she goes ahead and drops the bomb on us, right? So we're gonna take a quick listen. The audio that I have here is like about a minute long, I will say, or 2 minutes. So we're gonna dive into that, and we also have new information when it comes to the Halo Combat Evolved remaster. I think it's a remaster, or according to what we're gonna see here, it might be a remake. So we got all that to discuss here today. So before we go ahead and please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share out the video, and hype the video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for those of y'all who are doing that already. I appreciate y'all so much. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get straight on to this video here. So we're going to start off with this topic here. We're over at techforgamers.com, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are. Sweet Baby says when people fight against wokeness in games, they fight against innovation. Quote, "We did nothing wrong." This is crazy. Let's get into this, right? Let me pick this up a little for y'all right there. Bang. We on it, people. So, Sweet Baby Inc. was one of the most notorious names in the gaming industry just a little while ago. It was accused of forcing DEI and agendas into gaming that most gamers hated, and made multiple games fail. While most of the Sweet Baby hype has now died and the industry has moved away from DEI, the company's CEO in a recent podcast suggested that when people fight against wokeness in games, they fight against innovation and progression. Okay, so they go into why it matters, right? The company was at the center of many games that failed miserably, like Unknown 9 and more. Even bigger companies like PlayStation have now reportedly moved away from working with them. Speaking at a recent podcast, this is her, right? Kim Belair, which is this one here, right? That's the CEO. Confirmed her company's involvement in mega projects like Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Alan Wake 2. She revealed that Sweet Baby was directly involved in games narrative. Okay? She also claimed that when people call out wokeness in games, they are actually calling out progressiveness, as this stops growth. Their involvement actually helped those games, and the company did nothing wrong. Okay? So that's the clip, right? These are also games that they worked on here. You see Suicide Squad, Lords of the Ring, Gollum, and the biggest flop in video game history we have here, ladies and gentlemen, Concord. There it is. Fans don't really share the sentiment, as there was a huge uproar and many called out Sweet Baby for ruining narratives because of forced DEI. Spider-Man 2 did receive backlash because of this too. Belair said that creative decisions are like a battleground where there are wins and losses. She insisted that they did their jobs the best they could. However, there is a fine line between consultancy and direct involvement the company crossed. Anyhow, most of the gaming industry is now over the trend of forced DEI. We do see it here and there, but it doesn't really affect much. Inclusion is something that fans support, but shoving it down their throats is what they hate. I couldn't have said that any better. Okay. But anyways, let's listen into this article, to this podcast real quick, right? Let's see what she actually says. Here we go.
Where we are simultaneous, like people who think that they are pushing back against, I don't know, wokeness or something, are usually pushing back against progress towards the things that they would like. And that's, I think, the most backwards
and you're
part
going to
of it all.
complain about same old.
Yep.
But that's also because you can't handle change.
Well, that's the thing. They go like, well, we want something different. And you go like, okay, well, we put a woman in this one. They're like, well, don't do that. We want it to be the same as it was. And you're like, well, what do you want? Like one of my credos has often been representation as innovation. Because I think one of the biggest struggles for myself as someone who is an advocate for representation and diversity in narrative is this idea that what I want is censorship, or I want to like sand down the rough edges.
Real quick, right? They say that we want change, and yes, we want different things in our video games and things like that. They'll say, oh, she said, oh, but I put a woman in there, right? But when come to think of it, the type of woman that they want to put in the games fits their liking, right? It always goes to, it needs to fit what they're about. Somewhere down the line, whenever Sweet Baby Inc. is involved and there's a female and things like that, what usually ends up happening, either that main protagonist is a lesbian. We find out later on in the game, you know, she can never be just a regular female, right? That likes men, right? It always has to turn out to be that she's a lesbian. She wears a different setting of clothing. Also, in the likes of Star Wars Outlaws, when we saw that image of the main protagonist, how she looks, as opposed to what they made her look like in the actual game, she looks like two separate, totally different people. Why did they decide to do that? Because Sweet Baby Inc. was involved, and they didn't want her to look as feminine as the real protagonist actually looks. They wanted to make her look more masculine and things like that. That's the issue that I'm having. And most gamers have. Because why are you intentionally doing that? When you know that the main protagonist looks nothing like that. So why even do that?
Of something, or I'm scared, or whatever it is. Because I think we often see, like, if I say, oh, I want to have a new kind of art, people are excited. I want to have a new kind of engine, people are excited. I want to have a new kind of design, people are excited. Oh, I want to have a new kind of character, I want a new perspective. Whoa, we don't want to go woke. But I'm like, if I am able to play a new video game that has a character from a background I have never experienced before, that is authentic to a culture I have never actually, been able to interact with, and I'm learning from this and I'm having the experience and it's a cool new story, that is innovation. That is new to me. That is something that I desire because I want a new kind of game. And I think we talk a lot about like, oh, it's sensitivity reading, but it's like, I think that's a misnomer, because it implies that, oh, we're trying to be too sensitive, or we are sensitive and therefore, no, we're looking to make something that makes the game look good, that makes the world look good, and that reaches to the most people we possibly can. Like, I think that's all that it is. We are trying to create something that is exciting and different. And I think if we start looking at it less as, oh, we're taking something away, and more as, no, we're adding newness, we're adding innovation, then we can actually start having a conversation about, like, well, why is it important to have a woman in this role? Why is it important to have a black person? Why is it important to have a queer person? Because I think that if you just dismiss it as wokeness and not as, hey, there are new kinds of avenues, new pathways, new ideas, new mechanics, new things we can design based on these differences, then yeah, you're never going to be able to understand it.
I mean, listen. I definitely understand what's going on. Like, just like a lot of gamers do out here when Sweet Baby Inc. is involved. We understand. Okay, you could put whoever she mentioned there, a black person, a woman, I forgot what else she said, right? A queer, she said, in the game to be the protagonist or whatever it is. It don't matter who you put in it, because you trying to make it seem like you're doing something different when at the end of the day, you're not. Because what ends up happening with all these games that you're involved with, the main protagonist is either is gay or is involved in that community some way or shape or form, or it has to do something with that. It can't just be a regular game. Okay, make a different type of game, right? Let's say you made one of those type of games. Cool. Why you got to make the next one just like that? Why does the other one have to be just like you keep trying to say that you're innovating and bringing different ideas when you're actually not. You're bringing things that we already know. Like I'm gonna end with this one here. Just like it might be a spoiler, so I'm pretty sure most of you already know this, but it is a spoiler just in case you want to pause the video right now. You go ahead and do it. Just like I just ended the game Ghost of Yotei, right? We could see it already. You could clearly see the direction that game was heading. You could clearly see it. That's not different. That's not innovative. As soon as you get to a certain point in that game and you meet certain people, you already know where the story was going. I didn't have to think twice. So you telling me that's innovative? Not at all. So anyways, man, this is going to be in the description below. This podcast went on for an hour. Just in case y'all want to go ahead and listen to it, y'all could go ahead and do so. She still has 3 minutes left. Let me see what else she has to say here. Let me see.
And I do hope one day that we move to a point where I can speak more openly, or my team can speak more openly. We can be talking about these things more, because I think that we do really interesting work, and to have it dismissed as oh, you come in and make a character game. All right, well, that's never going to be what we do, but I don't know if you'll ever understand it.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what you do.
The reductiveness of those comments, right?
Truly.
Okay, Kim, I'm conscious of the time, and I know I asked you for an hour, and we're a little bit edging over that. But
okay, so I think it's done.
We wrap up. Everybody who comes to this, we get them to nominate 2 women that they think are game changers in the space.
Okay, they're done. Now she goes ahead and nominates 2 writers, right, from her Sweet Baby Inc. team that these bigger companies should hire for them to write, games and such for their next projects and things like that. So you think about that, right? What do you think those 2 writers are gonna do? Let's say if from PlayStation or Nintendo or Xbox, they decide to hire these 2 writers to write their next game. What do you think the game is gonna be about? You don't even gotta think. So this is the thing the issue that I'm having with what she's saying. You're not doing anything innovative. Nothing. We already know which direction you're going. So I'm going to leave this in the description below in case y'all want to take a listen to that whole podcast. It is an hour long. I'm not sure, but it'll be there. All right. Those are my thoughts on this thing, man. And, I'm glad that the likes of PlayStation and hopefully everybody else is following suit to get away from this Sweet Baby Inc. Because yes, they're messing up games. They are. Because they always trying to bring their agenda into the games. Even like the likes that I just said with Mary Jane in Spider-Man 2. Look how ugly she looked, bro. How they made her face look all masculine and ugly. Why you got to do that? Just like Star Wars Outlaws. So, and then the latest one, Ghost of Yotei. So, it's ridiculous, man. That's all I got to say about this, man. This is ridiculous. She's over here crying, accept us. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section down below. We're moving on to the next topic here in this video, ladies and gentlemen. we're shifting over to pushsquare.com, and here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Halo, it is a remake. It's coming to PS5 and will feature modern gameplay mechanics. There it is, people. That's according to Halo Leaks account on X, which has accurately outed information about the franchise in the past. Renamed developer Halo Studios has promised updates on the future of the franchise at the Halo World Championship later this month, which we will be covering that live. So make sure y'all pull up, all right? Where it's expected to show what it's been working on. Rumors of a Combat Evolved remake have been swirling for quite some time, with the PS5 expected to be the target platform now that Microsoft has gone multi-platform. Halo Leak says Sony's platform is planned for the remake, but it is unsure if it will be disclosed during the aforementioned event. Okay, so I can definitely confirm that the Halo CE remake will have sprint and modern gameplay mechanics. I'm of the belief its gameplay will be similar to the new Halo multiplayer game, which I also believe is Halo 7's multiplayer. Okay. In addition to the Snoop, says the remake will have modern gameplay mechanics such as sprint, a source of division among hardcore Halo fans. Okay. So the original Halo Combat Evolved, you couldn't do any of that, right? Like sprinting, they say here, right? Sprinting, sliding, even the ability to aim down sight. Okay. You couldn't do any of that. So they're bringing that into this remake here. Okay. So that should make a lot of people, excited about this remake. It's going down, people, right? And good thing for me, because I never played a collection of Halo games, and I was starting to play them on Steam. And good thing I just stopped for some reason. I said, yo, I'm gonna stop. And good thing I did, because I will much rather wait for this one to come out, and I'll play it with the more modern mechanics and things like that. It's gonna feel a lot better. So yeah, that's it right there, man. That's the latest to come out of this. Again, I don't think they said when the event is going down in this article. The Halo Championship Series, but don't worry. Just subscribe to the channel, and I will be, updating you guys on when it's going live, and I'll schedule the stream, and then we going live, and then we gonna see what they're gonna show us, right? Hopefully they come out and they actually show the remake. So let's see what happens, man. So that's gonna be the video right there. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this one here. Are you excited about that Halo remake coming to PS5 and potentially all platforms, right? So, and will you be picking it up if it does? All right, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy, the Gifted One here, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone.